Hello, I'm Dave Peach, and this is the Crawfordsville Peachcast, sponsored by Tri-County Bank, your community bank since 1892. See them in person or at tricountybank.net. Tri-County Bank, member FDIC, and equal housing lender. Crawfordsville Peachcast. My name is Dave Peach, and we are joined by Dave Meyer. Dave, how are you?
Dave, I'm excited to be here. Happy day. Happy November it is at this moment. That might not be the right thing to say, as this won't play till...
We'll squeak it in.
Yeah.
November 30th, I think, will be the debut day of this one.
Ooh, okay. A special day. We're shouting out to the November 30th, the end of the November crowd. They always impress me, Dave. I don't know what to expect from them.
We've got a bonus Thursday in November, a rare Thursday after Thanksgiving.
What does that mean? And we have more football being scheduled as well as we got a Friday game.
Black Friday game, yeah. Black Friday game, but that will already have taken place by the time this episode drops.
Dave, I am confused in my calendar ever since the time changed again. I did fall back. I fell back. Now where am I, Dave?
Yeah, I've tried. I was so busy I didn't even notice it, but people always talk about how it affects them. I can't get up. My pets are all off schedule. I mean, okay. I mean, I don't know. I try not to worry about it that much.
It's an hour. You know, the big thing is just the clocks, man. It's getting around and trying to get those digital clocks to be close enough that not everyone is blinking a different time the next time your electricity goes out.
Now, I did want to, I do have a topic here. Oh, we got to thank our sponsors, and we have big podcast news, Dave Meyer.
I'm excited.
Tri-County Bank has signed on for year 3 of the podcast.
Oh, my goodness. Dave, quite an endorsement. 3 years in. Great support. Long time. What's that founding date again, Dave? How long?
1892.
That's solid.
Yeah.
Among your sponsors, which are incredible, they are the elder of the two, I would say.
Yes. Central Indiana Rubber Products, or CIR. What do we say?
Hello, Todd.
Hello, Todd. Todd is a big listener. He's a big fan of the show, I should say. He's not that big. I mean, he's not like 6'9" or anything. He's normal size.
Right.
Normal sized human. He's a big fan. He's a big fan.
Okay.
And we have some podcast, little, where is it here? I was going to go over. This is from
Fun
Edison.
facts, tidbits. What we got, Dave?
Okay. Edison issues top 50 podcasts in the U.S. for Q3 2023.
Okay.
I will ask Dave Meyer if he can name 3 of the top 10 podcasts in the USA. Can you name 3 in the top 10?
I don't know, Dave, but I will try.
Okay,
I will try.
That's kind of part of the deal there. Yeah,
it's my limited effort here. I'm going to go. I'm not a listener of this podcast, but I know a lot of people are. Joe Rogan. I'm not sure the title, but
the Joe Rogan Experience.
Okay, the Joe Rogan Experience. That's
we'll give
in
it
there.
To you.
Okay, thank you, sir. On the guys front, we're going to go with Smartless. Dave, is Smartless one of the top 10?
It is.
Okay,
2 for 2.
2 for 2.
We'll give you 5 guesses to get the 3.
Okay, I have 2 more guesses.
2 for 2. Well, you got 3 more.
I have 2 more guesses. The next one, I'm going to go with Armchair Expert with Dak Shepard and Monica somebody.
That is number 34.
Wow. Okay. Fallen, I would think. I don't know. And my only other guess is WTF with Mark Maron.
WTF.
Probably not top 10.
I don't see it. I don't see it.
Okay. Okay. Well, then, what about the Daily from the New York Times? Is that up there?
Correct.
Okay.
There you go. You did it.
That's all I got, Dave.
Let's
tell me more, though.
Let's count them down from 10. Number 10, Dateline NBC.
Okay. Yeah.
Number 9, Stuff You Should Know.
Okay.
Number 8, Morbid. Number 7, Call Her Daddy.
Ooh, okay.
Number 6, as you mentioned, Smartless. Number 5, This Past Weekend with Theo Vaughn.
Okay.
Number 4, The American Life. Number 3, The Daily. Number 2, Crime Junkie. And number 1, The Joe Rogan Experience podcast. Top 10 podcast Q3.
Okay. That's impressive. I believe that I could be wrong here, but Crime Junkie may originate here in Indianapolis as part of the podcasting world that exists.
Another topic we are going to discuss. We talk a lot about movies, and today we're going to talk about Dirty Work.
Yes.
Which is not based on a true story.
Not based on a true story, based on a Roald Dahl story of some sort. Not true, but originating. Sorry, Dave, my brain is gone today. It's Norm Macdonald. That's what it's about, right?
And it's got a lot of other people in it. We will talk about it, but I wanted to talk a little bit with you about something that I see as far as movies go, and there's at least 3 of them that I want to discuss. The first one is something that's been in the news, The Blind Side, and you probably know who wrote the book The Blind Side. It's some famous author that's had like Billy Ball and all that jazz. I don't know what's his name.
Michael Lewis.
Thank you.
Is the author.
He's not the coach at Ball State though.
No,
different
longer.
Michael Lewis. Yeah, different Michael Lewis.
Michael Lewis.
Okay. So Michael Lewis wrote the book The Blind Side.
He wrote the book, and we're talking that was after Moneyball, I believe, in his. But
Moneyball, not Billy Ball. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, but it was about Billy Bean.
Well, Billy Ball was before Billy Bean. Billy Ball was Billy
correct.
Martin.
That's Billy Martin.
Yeah.
But we're going way back.
Okay.
Michael Lewis. I think The Blind Side was his big kind of breakthrough as far as a book that became a big movie that I believe Sandra Bullock won an Oscar and everybody felt good about it until last year.
Yeah. What happened?
Dave, I do not understand the laws involving conservatorship. My daughter, because of Brittany, I think we should have her on here. She might be able to take a whack at this, but somewhere along the line, Michael or the person adopted felt slighted or was not being compensated. I'm not sure exactly, but that story doesn't have the same ring if it's popping up on USA, there on the weekends.
Now, there's also Rudy.
There is our Rudy, right? Among the Indiana movies.
Rudy. I mean, carried off the field, Notre Dame. What a story. Unbelievable. People love him. Wait a minute. Upon further review, I think somebody threw a red hanky on the field, David.
Yeah. No, there's been, Dave, before the internet, we just enjoyed these movies.
Yes.
Right? That's it. We just enjoyed them. And whether or not all of it or most of it or even some of it were true were not as important, I think.
But there was a guy named Rudy, and he did get into the game at the end of the Georgia Tech game.
There are large portions of that can be verified. Okay. But when you got Joe Montana saying didn't happen that way, you're like, what? What?
Yeah.
Joe, didn't you go in and make Dan Devine understand Rudy? Didn't you, Joe? Didn't you? Oh, no, I know, Dave. I'm sorry. I just want to believe, because you got to believe Rudy's been telling this story for a while on the circuit. So I wonder if he's just kind of, if he's probably not taking questions as often in that last, 5 minutes before the chicken drops.
Let's go way back.
Okay.
Brian's song.
Dave, TV movie of TV movies, James Caan and Billy D. Williams. That I wish I knew who wrote the music because I can hear it, right?
Yeah, I can hear that right now. We know that Brian Piccolo they did not really discuss the type of cancer that he had. I'm going to let you look it up on your own, but
Okay.
they didn't want to say it in the movie because they thought it would offend people in 1970, whatever that it was made. But from what I understand, and I heard Gail Sayers say something about it, they said a teammate came up to him and said, "I can't believe you got a movie out of that deal." Like it wasn't really, it wasn't really. And if you look at the book, I Am Third, I think Brian Piccolo is in it for like a chapter.
Right.
This is true. We learned that Gail Sayers was not at his bedside when he died.
Yeah.
He was on a trip or something. He was doing a speaking engagement. Somebody contacted him and said that Brian Piccolo, and I hope I got that right. I kind of.
No, I'm pretty sure. And ABC, movies of the week back in the mid 70s were not going to be, they didn't have to be an accurate portrayal.
No.
And now we had Jack Wharton as George Hallis. Is that right?
I believe so.
Okay. I'm trying to remember.
No, I don't know if it's Jack Wharton. I'd have to. I think I can't remember. I can't remember who George Hallis was. We'd have to go back. But the theme here is what movies can you believe? I mean, here's three of them that apparently were not accurate, really, to the point that I would say there's a question whether there should have been a movie in any of these three cases.
Well, that's where if you see nowadays, you see a lot more of the language. It says inspired by a true story or inspired by actual events. There's usually some loose connotation, connection kind of thing.
Bazing. Wow, that's fun to say. Bazing is Tri-County Bank's Smart Rewards checking account. With Bazing, you have cell phone protection, ID theft protection, roadside assistance, discounts at area businesses, and more. This is Bria French. Contact me or any of our great employees to begin your entry into Bazing banking. Terms and conditions may apply. Tri-County Bank, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
Crawfordsville Peachcast, Dave Peach, Dave Meyer, talking about Dirty Work 1998. You mentioned Jack Wharton, and Jack Wharton was in this baby.
Jack Wharton looking good in this. This was maybe his last physical role, I would say.
Norm Macdonald, Artie Lange, the girl from Monk. I did not look her up. She was the second Monk helper. I can't remember her name on the show. I do not know her name. I think her name was Natalie on the show. What's her real name, David? You probably looked it up.
Traylor Howard is the real name. I had to look her up myself. On Monk for 5 years.
Yeah, it was a good show. You ever watch Monk?
Occasionally would catch it on the USA reruns.
And now they've got it on Hallmark Mysteries or something like that. I love Tony Shalhoub, and they had a good cast.
Oh, yeah.
And it was good stuff. Anyway, Norm Macdonald made this movie, and we talk about it. I guess let's talk big picture here. I know it did not do very well at the box office, but I think that Norm Macdonald did about what you would expect Norm Macdonald to do in a movie. So my thought would be, apparently, he just wasn't sellable for the big screen.
I guess. I mean, this was I think there was, again, this was during a run of Saturday Night Live, people coming off of Saturday Night Live and doing movies, and the movies doing well. If you look at all the stuff Mike Myers did and Adam Sandler, and this was later in that little bit, but Norm was, this is when he was doing Weekend Update. And I think they gave him like a 2-picture deal for Dirty Work. And then he also did a movie called Screwed. And even though people love Norm and love him as a stand-up, he couldn't get across. But I agree. This is Norm being Norm. This is a sight gag movie that was originally shot for an R rating. That then they cut it for a PG-13, and possibly some of that shows. But wow, what a list of cameos in this! We got Ken Norton in this, along with Gary Coleman has two cameos. I mean,
wow.
You got Adam Sandler as the devil for not long, but he's on there. And then John Goodman as the mayor at one point. And again, Rebecca Rome, I don't even know this. Rebecca Romijn, what is her name, Dave? That person.
You're on your own. You're on
she
your
was
own.
okay. I think she's famous, and it says she's listed as the bearded lady. I don't remember that.
Oh, yeah.
A couple of the homeless guys were Saturday Night Live writers. Jim Downey and Fred Wolf were those guys.
Bob Saget directed it, right?
Yeah, Bob Saget directed it. This is one of those movies that I think I kind of heard about because I think they did spend some money on promotions, but it didn't do well. So, but if you like Norm Macdonald and you like kind of sight gag humor, you might love this.
Now let's talk a little bit about a couple of callbacks to movies we've done before. Jack Wharton in Beyond Poseidon Adventure.
Oh yeah,
that was like what 19? That was about 10 years before this, right? 12 years before. I have it written down here.
No, it was. I thought that was late 70s. This is late
79.
Late
Wasn't
90s.
79? Okay, so it's 20 years.
But
I'm
still,
you keep talking. I'll keep looking here.
No, he's looking good, and this is still in kind of the era. He plays kind of the old horny guy, that has the heart attack, and he gives them. The big reveal in the movie is, you start out and you see these two kids that kind of look alike, different body shapes. It's Norm and Artie Lange, and it kind of the backstory is there. They kind of learn to do the dirty tricks growing up. And Jack Wharton is the dad of Artie Lange, and he says, don't take any crap from anybody. That's his philosophy on life. After his whatever heart attack, he reveals to Norm that he is also Norm's father as well. So that's part of the story. Hope we're not giving away too much there, but part of it. Don Rickles, Dave. I forgot Don Rickles.
You forgot about Don. Yeah. I mean, they just kept throwing people in here. One thing, another callback, along with Beyond Poseidon Adventure, and a lot of people are waiting for callbacks to that movie.
Absolutely.
The $50,000. We saw it in Hot Rod. We saw it divided into two by Hooper. $50,000 for the heart procedure for the older Jack Wharton.
Dave, that is astute. That must have been the magic number at that time. For $50,000, man. For $50,000. That's what you have to do it for.
We see that.
Yeah, Chris Farley. You mentioned Chris Farley, but it was more, I mean, he had a lot of lines, kind of bizarre character, the thing with the nose, which his history at the time, you wonder if things were happening now that he wanted to cover that up in some way or just not call attention to it, which is what he ended up doing. But this was, I believe, died in 97. This came out in 98.
Wow. Now, when I was looking at this movie and kind of thinking about this movie, the word in my mind, and you're the wordsmith, Dave, was ribald. Am I saying that right?
Ribald. That's good. That's good. That's a good descriptor. Raunchy, I would say, was probably what they were trying for, but then you can't do raunchy on PG-13.
I would say that they went to the joke, and many times they reiterated the joke in like they showed like a prop,
Right.
reiterating the joke. So it was definitely double time on some of the jokes.
Yeah, there's kind of a side bit with brownies, right? That they bring back, you know. And then one of the first ones when Norm is going back and his girlfriend is throwing his stuff off the ledge out the window, so he's watching people walk by with his clothing. And there's a guy that has his shirt on and he says, "Take it off." And then this guy has a really hairy upper torso. And Norm is like, "No, keep it on," kind of thing.
I don't know that Norm would have and him were the same size. As far as I don't.
I did think that was maybe a little loose on Norm at that juncture.
Could have been. Now, many times I think of something or I think, hey, this person looks like that person or that. And then people just tell me, they laugh at me or they say that I'm all, what are you looking at? I mean, but
sure.
The lady who was 60.
The
mother
right.
who was 60.
The mother.
Okay. You realize in 1998, I guess maybe you and I mean, I don't know if you're 60, but I don't know. I think she looked a little older than 60.
No, I think the 60 was an 80, was a matronly 80 back in the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Dave, 60 doesn't look like that for a lot of people.
Not now. Maybe it's changed a lot in the last few years.
Enough. I mean, at least for us that are in that very specific area, we certainly feel that.
I'm a little sensitive to that.
Yeah, I'm not as matronly or, I don't feel like the grandma person who's going to lose their home and their sewing business.
Well, let's bring the plot along, at least in the beginning. What makes them begin? I'll let you take from dad to the point that they have a brick and mortar building and a business where they exact revenge on individuals for cost.
Yeah, no, that is basically they determine that this discernible skill that they have developed as just based on who they are can be used to make some money. So they start out with, and basically they do a couple of things, and then they end up doing. They get hired by a big real estate developer, played by Christopher Macdonald, who many people recall as Shooter McGavin in Happy Gilmore, I believe. But Chris Macdonald, during this time, he was playing this role in different parts, it seems like, and doing it well. And if I recall, he had a nice swing as well. But he's kind of the rip-off Donald Trump character who has is a small dog, I believe, that he carries with him. So basically, Norm and Artie, who are in the movie, it's Mitch and then Artie's is Sam, right? Mitch and Sam. So they get hired and they end up basically they were fooled. They end up taking down or doing their dirty tricks to an existing apartment building that just so happens he finds out his kind of the love interest girlfriend's mother, as you mentioned, the 60 who looks 80. And they end up basically doing the dirty work that they were hoping to do and get paid for. They do the dirty work for the bad guy, and the bad guy is not going to pay them. So that's the big, because all this is about, they need this money, Dave, because Jack Wharton, Pops, has got a heart condition. And his doctor, Chevy Chase.
Another one,
has a gambling problem. So Chevy, in every subsequent scene, you see Chevy he's wearing either some kind of a splint or a cast or a walking boot of some sort because he owes money to the mob. But if he can get the $50,000, he will get the new heart somehow. And, there was a big chunk once the plot does reach that point where all of a sudden we're good to go. We don't really see Chevy again, and Jack Warden has the new heart. But I would say it's, the fun of the movie is if you love Norm, doing these sight gags and telling these jokes, you will love or you will like this movie. There is one point where it seemingly goes very dark because the dirty tricks are, take fish and hide it all over this house so the house is going to smell. But then while they're in this house, there's like all this gunplay that goes on for just a crazy amount of time, and you don't see any of it. The camera is posed on Norm and Artie while they're holding the fish, while you hear this theater of this whole gunfire and elaborate goings on in the other room. So I don't know where we are, Dave, but basically in the end, they got duped. So they had to dupe the bad guy, exact their revenge. And I don't know how, I forget where did they get the money? I think somehow they used Artie Lange's mom's money to put up the storefront. Is that right?
Yeah. And apparently they had no supply chain issues in 1998 because in no time they had a sign and all the stuff ready for the business. I was kind of doing the math and thinking if you pay for a sign, if you pay for rent, how profitable could it be? But this movie is not a movie that you say you try to apply any sort of realism to. Would that be accurate?
I would say that's a good. It's not. It didn't get. It's got a 14% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. So the critics were not kind. But I will after the things. After watching and looking up, here is one. He says, as a funny man, Norm Macdonald despised snobbery or elitism, and in this movie, we end up liking Mitch because Norm plays him with kind of a ruffled, shaggy dog guilelessness because he's, in spite of his flaws, trying to be on the right side and standing up for the little guy, even though he's kind of sick and depraved with his buddy Artie.
As we break this movie down and talk about it, something that kind of popped into my mind, and maybe the difficulty with this movie and the reason why it didn't do better is that there's just so many things thrown in there. And I'm not sure that they all connect.
No, I mean, they are. And that's where you could see a lot of bits, right? When they were putting this script together, they had a lot of bits in the end. There's a lot of great lines. Just the idea, the revenge for hire business, right? I mean, that's at one point, and I will say there's a kind of a montage-y scene with dirty deeds done dirt cheap, which was kind of cool. I'm trying to think of something, of all the sight gags that, the Gary Coleman, Adam Sandler in Hell. That was cute. I'm trying to think of anything else. I mean, yeah, Dave, this was just
they called back
Norm Macdonald.
They called back to the brownies during the end, the ending scene. Yeah,
they were able to use the brownies to kind of maneuver the goods. There's quite a cast of characters that they marshal to do their bidding there at the end. And Artie Lange, you see Artie Lange now, and he's like kind of an old blown up, he looks like Keith Richards' brother and that needs to lose weight. And so this was probably 10 to 25 rehabs ago for Artie Lange.
He looked young and pretty good.
This had to be at his height. I didn't know he had any kind of movie career. I just knew he was a sidekick to Howard Stern.
Yeah, he did some other stuff that I will not go into. That it's one of those things that when you see, you can't unsee it. But I'm going to let the folks research other things that Artie Lange has done in his career. And again, Dave, we always ask on these movies. This one, as we discuss it, I'm thinking, wow, this movie really did not have a cohesive storyline. It really didn't have anything that tied it all together. You mentioned Happy Gilmore, and we could all follow that movie through. This one did not land like Happy Gilmore in no way, shape, or form.
No, I think for a lot of different reasons. I mean, the characters, the way Adam Sandler and his mother, and that whole kind of, his angry, but the story involving, his mentor and how all that worked. And this was just maybe a little bit more disjointed.
Yeah.
And also, Norm played Norm. I think Norm played Norm in I haven't seen Screwed. But as you mentioned earlier, this is Norm being Norm in a movie.
And I want to say good things about it. At least I want to, God rest his soul. But this movie was, as far as the ones that we've watched and we're talking about, this movie, while it did have some funny moments in it, it was just, I guess I'll leave it at a little bit strange at times.
Yeah. It doesn't. It's one of those movies, Dave. If you're of a certain age and you enjoy, certain types of products while you're not working or driving a car, this might be a movie for you. You could maybe put together some type of game around either something Artie Lange.
Widgery.
Artie
that's
or
Spinal
Norm.
Tap, right?
That's yes. We're dabbling, but no, there's not a
Artie
ton of
Widgery.
redeeming.
That's a good. Where is that? Who is that?
That's
Artie
he's a voice of
Artie
Fufkin.
Artie Fufkin is in Spinal Tap. Artie Widgery, I think, is a comedian, isn't he?
I think he's a comedian, okay. Dave, and he just got his shout out for the Peach Cast for 2023.
It is dirty work. Watch it. I would say watch it with people that are over 21 years of age, maybe.
Yeah, watch it, but probably not too well. I mean, there is a zone for this, but yes. I don't know if we missed it, and we're not exactly the callback demo.
1998's Dirty Work on Untoasted, Crawfordsville Peach Cast. We are back, and we're going to answer a question. It's an all-you-can-eat question, so we have that coming up after the break here on the Crawfordsville Peach Cast.
Central Indiana Rubber Products provides the power for you. Central Indiana Rubber Products, or CIR, keeps farm equipment and local manufacturing processes running with gaskets, belts, seals, and O-rings, among a variety of other products and services. Employee-owned and always customer-focused. Central Indiana Rubber Products, 989 West, 83 North, Crawfordsville, and at indianarubber.com. Central Indiana Rubber Products, or CIR, power for you.
Third segment, Crawfordsville Peach Cast. Dave, how many folks are hanging in for segment 3?
Dave, it's the numbers. We hear rumors, but we'll never really know because they keep coming in, Dave. We don't know, but segment 3 is a commitment. We know there's a couple of Todds, maybe some other folks, right? But segment 3, we're here.
Okay. Question, Dave. When you were growing up, how many times a year did you go eat at Long John Silver's?
Well, in the formative years, I would say it was among the rotation 3, 4, 5 times, maybe 5, 6 on a big year.
The whole Meyer family going into Long John Silver's, getting the fish, getting the tartar sauce, getting the fries.
Sitting down, those big, hard brown, table benches.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they've got all-you-can-eat Sundays here, at least in Crawfordsville, $12.99, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. I assume it's elsewhere because it's a pretty fancy little flyer here with some coupons. How many?
As
How many
supplies
fish?
last.
How many fish could you go on an all-you-can-eat Long John Silver's
Ooh.
trip?
All you can eat.
All you can eat.
Ooh, and these are not small breaded items. These are large,
regular fish.
regular.
Yeah.
They're regular are not small. In my solid days, I was 2 to 3 with planning for no breakfast. I think I could do 4 in my best day, Dave.
$12.99, all you can eat. It's actually fish, chicken, sides, and hush puppies. So check it out at Long John Silver's. I don't know if they'll be a sponsor, but we could hope.
They should love the mentions they're definitely positive.
I'll have to check to see when that does expire. Maybe November 30th.
Are they competing against the McRib? Is the McRib back? Is that a factor?
It comes back every once in a while. One more thing before we call it in on segment 3, Dave. Why are people, and this is about me, I hate to say it, but this one's about me. It seems like this year at Butler University, I'm the public address announcer for men's basketball at Butler University.
You are the voice of Hinkle Fieldhouse that rings through the rafters.
Everybody has asked me this year how many years I've been doing it. Why?
Ooh.
Why are they concerned about this? I mean, I'm flattered.
They are. I think they want to give you your due. They're having a recognition that it's. I mean, you've seen coaches through the cycle at this point, right?
Yep.
I mean, Thad through Thad at this point.
Yeah, player, coach. Now he was a player. Now he's a coach. But it's 35 years, in case you did not know.
Wow, Dave. Okay, do we know if this is the longest tenure of someone doing this there?
No. Oh, at Butler?
Yes.
I do not know that. It's not 35 consecutive seasons, though. That's
still
kind of the confusing part.
Well, it's kind of like the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and the race, right? Yeah, we didn't
they shut down during World War II, yeah.
Exactly. You had your own World War II, Dave. But no, I want to find out that you are the longest running public address announcer voice of Butler University's basketball program. Now a Big East contender in this season.
Okay, now, one more thing, and we're going to wrap up segment 3 on this note.
Okay.
Butler will take on Michigan State. Now, as we record, it's going to be tomorrow.
Yes.
But as people listen, it will have already happened because this will drop on November 30th. So, David, I want you to give me your predicted score, both teams, their total, and I want to know your predicted score. Let me write mine down first, and I'm going to write mine down, and it is a prediction. So here you go. And now they can look back and they will know the score. They can look back and say, hey, who was more accurate?
Who was closer?
This is the game. And I will say, if you're a Butler fan, and I've talked to so many people, and I ask them, what do you think of the team? What do you think of the team? And everybody, including former coaches, will know Friday night. We'll know Friday night. I mean, this is like the cliffhanger of cliffhangers. I mean, if I had a dollar for everybody that said, well, no Friday night, I'd have, $17 at least. But it's a big one. When you go to Michigan State, you kind of know what you got. We have not been to the NCAA tournament since 2018. So it's a big game. People are looking for improvement from this team, more competitive, being more competitive on the big stage. So they go to East Lansing on Friday. David, what is your predicted score?
Dave, of course, I'm going to be optimistic. And I also think, I've got a little bit, not seen a lot of Michigan State, not seen a ton of Butler so far, but have seen enough. And being optimistic and throwing in the fact that they're not going to be doing this at Hinkle Fieldhouse tomorrow night. Still, I see Butler 85, Michigan State 81 in overtime.
Whoa. I like that one. I'm going Butler 69, Michigan State 67. That is a regulation.
Okay.
So we are
Dave.
We are both optimistic.
We are close. There is cause for optimism. I feel like there's a new sheriff in town with a point guard that's got tons of experience. We're deeper. I feel like we're more athletic. But I think it's the mindset that I think right now, obviously beginning of the year, you should be this way. And this game that we're talking about will be the first big test. But having said all that, Dave, we're better this year than we were last year, and we're going to be better. That's my Butler basketball hopeful prediction for Michigan State and beyond.
It's a tough conference for those that think the Big East went away. We've got 3 Big East teams in the top 10, including the defending national champion, and none of those teams are Villanova. None of those teams are Providence. None of those teams are Seton Hall. So you got Marquette, Creighton, and UConn. Yeah, UConn in the top 10, and it's going to be a war in the Big East. Good to see Butler back at it, and hopefully a win over the Spartans that we'll talk about next time. And next time out, we'll talk about and we'll get into the story about how I got into this, but the Thunderbirds. It's I guess a children's offering, but I think it's kind of a combo.
Right. It looks like it's something that inspired a lot. Like, I definitely think it inspired the South Park guys with Team World Police. It's got that look to it. There's a lot it's obviously stop action with puppetry, but there's a certain genre, and the production value is high in that genre.
We will talk about it next time, and also we'll talk about Stuart Damon in the immortal Cinderella show and Leslie Ann Warren. I hopefully you can contain yourself until we meet again, David. We're always fun to talk to you.
Dave, it's my pleasure. I love you, sir, and love being a part of the Peachcast and doing the Untoasted movies.
We are back next time here on the Crawfordsville Peachcast, presented by Tri-County Bank, your community bank since 1892, and Central Indiana Rubber Products, or CIR. 1, 2, 3. Hello.
Hello, Todd.
Thanks for listening to the Crawfordsville Peachcast, sponsored by Tri-County Bank, your community bank since 1892. Tri-County Bank, member FDIC, and equal housing lender. I'm Dave Peach. Join us every Thursday for a new episode on Apple or Spotify. Please like, subscribe, and download the Crawfordsville Peachcast. This podcast was produced and edited by Up There Media and is a presentation of Fork Broadcasting Digital.